Democrats. Today is April 29th, 2021. It's Thursday. It's 100 days of President Biden. It's all kinds of things are happening today. So, oh my gosh, I have a plate full of things that I want to talk about today. But let's talk about last night. So, didn't it feel great to watch a president sound like a president who had a real plan that didn't depend on making other people feel bad or talking bad about a certain segment or population of our country? Wasn't that awesome? We're not going to talk about the supposed response because it was just a bunch of jibber jabber words that weren't based in truth. We won't go there, but let's focus on the fact that there was a president who had a plan that was targeted at helping everyday Americans, not targeted at just making sure that the 1% get another boost. That's what we need to do. It was so great. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I shut the night down after that because I didn't want anything to rain on my parade. So he's back. It's 100 days. It's awesome. And you're right, Chair Jensen, just as he promised. All righty. So every day I come, I'm going to talk about bills, elected, elections, but I'm not going to get there yet. As you guys can tell, I'm not at home, right? I am in Oklahoma City. I am in Oklahoma City today for a couple of reasons. Primarily, I'm here to support my good friend, Joshua Harris Till. You guys might know him as the president of Young Democrats of America. But today we're going to talk about Joshua Harris Till, the man. Joshua is incredibly passionate about the things that he supports and that he believes in. And right now he believes in the safety and the sanctity, actually, of the First Amendment right. We have a right, it's codified in the Constitution, that we should be able to peaceably gather and protest, right? We should be able to peaceably gather and exercise our freedom of speech. Our electeds, our current legislator, our current Republican-led legislature has a different thought about it. So HB 1674 passed the House and Senate and was signed by the governor. That is the bill, and I'm sure you guys have heard about it. I'm so sick of talking about it, but we have to keep talking about it because it's real. The governor signed it into law. HB 1674 is the bill that is aimed at protecting the driver who runs over a protester if he or she are afraid. You heard me. It's protecting the driver. It's protecting the person who is in a 5,000-pound weapon from the dangerous pedestrians. So that's just one piece of the law. That's the part that keeps making the news. That's the part that we keep talking about. But there's another piece of it, right? The other piece is when a lot of you may not know this, if you are organizing a protest, and a lot of protests are organized. There's a lot of planning that goes into it, picking the place, deciding who's going to be there, making sure that there's security, and making sure that everybody understands that this is a peaceful protest. A lot of that goes into play. But if you're the person who goes down and gets the permit, and when you get a permit, it's legal, right? And when you get a permit, they tell you the route that you can walk. When you get a permit, they tell you the route that you can walk where it's legal. And if you have to cross the street, that's part of the permit and they know it. So if you are crossing the street as part of your designated route, you're not illegally blocking the road. And, I say this in my real life, and so I'm going to say it to you guys, words matter. So they would have you believe, hi, Pam, they would have you believe that any protest that crossed the street or a couple of people happen to be in the street is illegal, and it's not. Most protests that you see on TV or that you read about was planned and approved by the city. So anyway, I just had to say that because I've been having conversations with people who don't fully understand that. So if you're the person who gets the permit and some interloper comes in or someone comes in and something illegal happens during your protest, they're trying to make it as part of this law where you are charged with organized crime. Now, I've been in a protest or two. I've been in one where I just showed up because the issue was important to me. And I've been in one where I've given a speech before or after. When you're part of the organizing, you're in the very beginning. You don't always know what is happening at the back of the line. When you just show up and you're walking, you don't know everybody who's there. And just because I went to several protests, participated in several protests last summer myself, not as many as a lot of you have, but I did. And the last one that I took part in, or decided not to take part in, I spoke beforehand, and as we gathered and lined up to march to our destination, of which there was a permit, we gathered to march to our destination. I see down the hill, I see Proud Boys with their long guns across their bellies, all standing with the tape and the guns and all of that kind of stuff. And I decided that that wasn't the place for me. I was seriously concerned for my safety. Not saying that I'm proud of that, but that is the truth. I was seriously concerned for my safety. But what I know is that those people were not part of the organization. And so if something would have popped off, if something would have happened negatively, the person who got the permit would have been charged with organized crime under this current bill. We can't let it stand. This current bill isn't as simple as they should get off the street. Right? It isn't as simple as they should protest the way that we want them to protest. Because you know what? That's not a protest. That's a parade, right? We need to stop this bill. Joshua Harris Till has done the legwork. He's hired the attorney. He's worked with the Secretary of State. We now have a state question 816. We are waiting on we are waiting on the Secretary of State to give us the cover sheet for the petition. And as soon as that petition is ready for sign, I implore all Oklahomans of good conscience who are registered to vote to find a place where you can sign that petition. And as the chair of the Oklahoma Democratic Party, I am encouraging every county party to get involved in this. We have to be able to exercise our First Amendment right unfettered by chickens. And that's what this is. This bill was written by people who are afraid to listen to the voters. This bill was put forth by people who want to just dictate to us what the laws are going to be. So no one on State Question 816, hopefully by Tuesday, we'll have the information from the Secretary of State, but I'm going to be reporting on it every day that I go live so that as soon as we're able to sign those petitions, and I'm going to be one of the first signatories that we get it signed. We have just under 60,000 signatures that we need to get by the end of August. I think we can do it. I've seen the voices. I've seen folks who are upset about this bill. We just need your help. But let me be very, very clear. This is not a charge led by the Oklahoma Democratic Party. We stand in solidarity with Joshua Harris Till, the individual. This is being run by Joshua Harris Till, and we support him. All righty. Just want to make sure that that's very, very clear. So the bills that I want to talk about, HB 1674, because it's caca. Hi, Melissa. That's the bill that we're trying to do a veto referendum to end, to repeal, to revoke, to end. And then HB 1775. I've talked about this one a whole bunch. Tim Scott actually talked about it last night in his non-response response. This is the bill that prohibits educators from talking about systemic racism, current racism, sexism, homophobia. None of those things are allowed to be taught in our schools. And if so, a teacher can lose their license. I think that exposure to folks that are different than us is how we learn and how we become a better country. And it doesn't really matter what I think, but that's my interpretation of HB 1775. It's to shut it down. It's to only talk about, you can talk about racism and sexism as if they are things of the past. I say that that's not really education if you're pretending like the world doesn't exist how it exists. So anyway, that passed today. I was at the Capitol today after the press conference where we kicked off State Question 816. I went into the Capitol to meet with some legislators, and the sad faces, the frustration, the annoyance that I encountered with the legislators that I talked to, they're frustrated, y'all. They are fighting. They are trying to be heard. The person arguing for 1775, again, had to throw racism into it while saying that racism is a thing of the past. It's shameful. It's depressing. And then I'll talk about the electeds. Humphrey, bad guy, bad dude. He likened BLM to the KKK. I'm not even going to get into that because I know that people have different views on everything. But when asked about when did, they said, well, BLM never lynched anybody. Humphrey actually said, we don't know that KKK ever lynched anybody. We need our legislators to be grounded in reality and know what's going on. Humphrey clearly is out of touch, that he can be an American and not recognize that the KKK lynched people. Just flat out. That's a different level of denial that I'm not even real sure that we have time to go into. So he's probably, let's just go ahead and give him a name him and shame him today. Humphrey. I don't even give him his whole name. Just, he's a despicable human being. And he's a fibber. That's all I can say is if he wants to pretend like he didn't know that the KKK lynched people, I'm not having it. I'm just going to call him a fibber. All righty. So those are my bills, my electeds. So now let's talk about elections. Today is Thursday. Happy birthday, Alicia Andrews. Had to sneak that in. So today is Thursday. Saturday is May 1st. That is the day for district conventions where we elect our leaders for all 5 congressional districts. So they'll be electing chairs, vice chairs, secretaries, and affirmative action members. Those conventions are this Saturday, either 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. Please go out to our website, okdemocrats.org, find out when your convention is and how you can get involved. This is where we get involved. This is where we start the work to change the board, where there are more Democrats. This is where we do the work for 2022. So that's on May 1st. That's this Saturday. May 11th and June 8th, all over the state, there will be propositions. And I got to tell you, I don't even know if I have an election. Well, I know that I don't on May 11th, but go out to the state election board, put in your name and birthday, find out if you have an election coming up, read all about the propositions and figure out which side you're on for what. So, and we have to participate in every vote opportunity that is made available to you. Participate in every one, not just the presidential, not just the one that your cousin is running in. Everyone, because they all matter. Those propositions affect your taxes. They affect your roadways. They affect how your municipal elected officials are elected. They affect your life, whether you know it or not. It's best to know. So please participate every opportunity. That's May 11th and June 8th. And then June 12th, our state elections, where we decide who our leadership will be for the Oklahoma Democratic Party. That's on June 12th. We're not going to send out the call until after the district convention so that we don't confuse everybody. That's on June 12th. Please keep checking out our website and we'll tell you how to get involved there. Scott is prompting me to tell you that there are going to be some candidate forums, so you can hear the candidates who are running. You can hear what we stand for and make your selection for state. And so next Monday, Edmond Democratic Women are hosting one forum, and then on May 15th, the congressional district chairs will be hosting a forum. So you'll get to know us. You'll get to hear what we are, what we stand for, what our plans are, and help you make a more informed decision. I'm so glad for everybody who joined today. Let's celebrate. Today is 100 days away from the craziness that we had to live through for 4 years. Today is 100 days since Biden has been our president, since we've had a president who understands that giving money to the top 1% isn't all you need to do. You need to actually deal with all of America. All righty. You guys have a great one. I will be back tomorrow from Tulsa. I'll be back tomorrow at 4:15.